psychology of people who apologize even when they've done nothing wrong. Following the creative and structural guidelines you shared, script, prompt. This script explores the psychology behind why some people apologize even when they've done nothing wrong, and what that habit quietly reveals about their emotional world. There are people who say sorry almost automatically. Sorry for taking up space. Sorry for asking a question. Sorry for expressing an opinion. Sorry for needing time. Sorry for existing a little too loudly or too quietly, or in any way that might inconvenience someone else. Sometimes they apologize before anyone has even shown discomfort. Sometimes they apologize for things that were never mistakes. Sometimes they apologize even when they're the ones who were hurt. And over time, this constant apologizing becomes so natural that they barely notice it anymore. It feels like breathing. It feels like being polite. It feels like being safe. But beneath this habit, there is usually something much deeper happening. For many chronic apologizers, sorry is not just a word. It is a shield. It is a peace offering. It is a way of saying, please don't be upset with me. Please don't leave. Please don't think badly of me. Please let me belong. It is a way of managing emotional risk in a world that once felt unpredictable, critical, or unsafe. Often, this pattern begins early in life. In childhood, we learn how safe it is to take up space by watching how our needs are received. Some children grow up in environments where emotions are welcomed, mistakes are met with patience, and curiosity is encouraged. But others grow up learning that being easy is safer than being honest. That being quiet is safer than being expressive. That being agreeable is safer than being authentic. Maybe they had caregivers who were overwhelmed, emotionally unavailable, or unpredictable. Maybe they learned that expressing anger led to rejection. Maybe asking for help led to disappointment. Maybe standing up for themselves led to punishment. So, slowly, their nervous system adapted. It learned that the best way to survive was to minimize themselves, to smooth things over before conflict could even appear, to apologize before anyone had a chance to criticize. Over time, sorry became a form of emotional insurance. In adulthood, this shows up in subtle ways. They apologize when someone bumps into them. They apologize when they ask a coworker for clarification. They apologize when they take a few extra seconds to respond to a message. They apologize when they set boundaries. They apologize when they cry. They apologize when they stop pretending everything is fine. On the surface, it looks like kindness. And in many ways it is. Chronic apologizers are often deeply empathetic people. They are highly attuned to emotional shifts. They notice tone changes, facial expressions, pauses in conversation. They sense discomfort before others do. Their nervous system is constantly scanning for signs of tension, rejection, or disappointment. This hyper-awareness is not random. It is usually the result of growing up in environments where emotional safety was inconsistent. When love felt conditional, attention felt fragile, or approval felt unstable, the brain learned to monitor everything. It learned to stay alert. It learned that being too much could be dangerous. So now, as adults, these individuals carry that vigilance everywhere. They apologize to prevent conflict that hasn't happened yet. They apologize to soften their presence. They apologize to keep relationships stable. They apologize to avoid being misunderstood. They apologize to prove they are good. At its core, this behavior is rooted in fear. Not dramatic fear, but quiet fear. The fear of being disliked. The fear of being abandoned. The fear of being burdened. The fear that if they take up too much space, they will lose connection. For many, this fear is tied to people-pleasing. They learned early that love was earned through compliance, emotional labor, and self-sacrifice. So they became experts at adjusting themselves to fit other people's expectations. They became flexible, accommodating, emotionally available. They learned to read rooms. They learned to adapt. But in doing so, they slowly lost touch with their own boundaries. Instead of asking, "What do I need?" they learned to ask, "What do you need from me?" Instead of trusting their instincts, they learned to question them. Instead of asserting themselves, they learned to apologize. Another layer of chronic apologizing is internalized self-blame. Many of these individuals grew up believing that problems were somehow their fault. If someone was upset, it must be because they did something wrong. If someone withdrew, it must be because they were not good enough. If something went wrong, it must be because they failed. So their mind developed a default response. Assume responsibility first. Apologizing becomes a way to regain control. If it's my fault, then I can fix it. If I say sorry, maybe I can make it better. Maybe I can prevent rejection. Maybe I can repair things before they break. This creates an illusion of safety, but it also creates emotional exhaustion because constantly apologizing means constantly shrinking. It means minimizing your feelings. It means doubting your right to exist freely. It means prioritizing harmony over honesty. It means carrying responsibility for emotions that aren't yours. Over time, this can deeply affect mental health. Many chronic apologizers struggle with anxiety. Their mind is always running scenarios. Did I say the wrong thing? Did I offend them? Do they hate me now? Should I explain myself? Should I apologize again? Their inner world becomes crowded with self-monitoring. They may also struggle with low self-worth. When you apologize for existing, you slowly teach yourself that your presence is problematic, that your needs are inconvenient, that your emotions are excessive. And this belief doesn't stay small. It seeps into relationships, work, friendships, and self-image. In relationships, chronic apologizers often tolerate too much. They stay quiet when they are hurt. They accept blame that isn't theirs. They overfunction emotionally. They become the understanding one, the patient one, the easy one. And while others may appreciate their kindness, they may also unconsciously take advantage of it, not always intentionally. But when someone never pushes back, others stop checking. In work environments, they may undervalue themselves. They apologize for asking for raises. They hesitate to share ideas. They downplay achievements. They avoid conflict even when necessary. And internally, they carry a quiet sense of invisibility. They are present everywhere, but rarely fully seen, because they have learned to edit themselves. Healing this pattern does not mean becoming rude, cold, or selfish. It does not mean abandoning empathy. It means learning that your worth is not conditional on being agreeable, that relationships do not require self-erasure, that safety does not require constant apology. It begins with awareness, noticing how often sorry appears in your language, noticing what you apologize out of habit, not necessity. Sometimes sorry is really, I'm scared you'll be upset. Sometimes it's, I don't want to bother you. Sometimes it's, please don't reject me. Sometimes it's, I don't feel allowed to take space. When you notice this, you can gently begin to replace apology with presence. Instead of, sorry for bothering you, try thank you for your time. Instead of, sorry I'm late when you're on time, try thank you for waiting. Instead of, sorry for feeling this way, try this is how I feel. These small shifts retrain the nervous system. They send a new message. I am allowed to exist. I am allowed to have needs. I am allowed to be imperfect. I am allowed to be human. Another part of healing is learning to tolerate discomfort. When you stop apologizing automatically, anxiety may rise. Your brain may say, this is dangerous. You're being rude. They'll leave. That's your old survival system speaking. You don't need to fight it. You just need to reassure it. I'm safe now. I don't need to earn love. I don't need to shrink. I can be kind without disappearing. Therapy, journaling, and self-reflection can help uncover where this pattern began. Understanding your emotional history gives you compassion for yourself. You realize you weren't weak. You were adaptive. You did what you had to do to survive. And now, you're learning new ways to live. It's also important to learn that healthy relationships do not require constant self-sacrifice. People who care about you want to know your real thoughts. They want you to feel comfortable. They want honesty, not perfection. You are not more lovable when you apologize for everything. You are more lovable when you are real. You are allowed to take up space without explanation. You are allowed to say no without guilt. You are allowed to change your mind. You are allowed to have boundaries. You are allowed to be inconvenient sometimes. Apologies are meaningful when they are genuine, when they come from accountability, empathy, and growth. But when they come from fear, they become self-erasure. And you deserve more than that. If you recognize yourself in this pattern, know this: nothing is wrong with you. You learn this behavior in order to stay safe. It once protected you, it once helped you belong. It once helped you survive, but you don't have to live in survival mode forever. You are allowed to rest. You are allowed to trust. You are allowed to speak. You are allowed to exist without permission. Learning to stop over-apologizing is not about becoming harder. It's about becoming freer. It's about choosing self-respect alongside empathy. It's about honoring your needs without abandoning your kindness. You can be gentle and strong. You can be caring and boundaried. You can be compassionate and confident. And every time you pause before saying sorry and choose truth instead, you are teaching yourself something new. That you are worthy. That you are enough. That you do not need to apologize for being human. And that is where real healing begins.